What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of the Bronx and Big Blue Breakdown. I'm your host, Brady Heslin, and today I'm going to be breaking down the New York Giants' 34-24 loss to the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Yankees pitching pending free agents. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. We will begin with the New York Giants. This was really just a dull game. It really felt, even at halftime, that the game was pretty much over. I mean, it sounds kind of crazy to say that, but they were down 17-7 and San Francisco got the ball. And I mean, we were midway through the third quarter and I was already kind of ready for the game to just be over. Just felt like such a nothing game. No one really stood out. I mean, no one had a completely horrific game. It was really just a combination of a lot of players just playing bad. They got outplayed and outcoached. I mean, I want to start with the defense, honestly, in this one. I normally start with the offense, but the defense was just so bad. I mean, the front seven should be absolutely embarrassed on this team. The defense as a whole should be embarrassed, but especially the front seven, because outside of Brian Burns, no one played well. No one played well on this defense. And the secondary is clearly banged up. No Paulson Adebo, no Cordell Flott, no Javon Holland. That is a banged up unit. But with the front seven, the only starter from the beginning of the year that is out is Micah McFadden. And the number 30 run defense in the NFL before this week went for 160 yards and just could basically do whatever they wanted on the ground. I mean, there was one drive, they ran the ball almost every single drive. Or every single play of that drive. I know Bobby Skinner tweeted it out, but just an embarrassing performance. I mean, their third straight game allowing 30-plus points. That's just not a recipe for success. It's really not. Dexter Lawrence, I'll start with him. I'm getting fed up with him, man. I really am. Just Carl Banks calls you out. You're going against a backup center. The fact that this isn't the game that you break out questions whether or not you're still the same player that you were last year. He's not a bad player. He's a very good player. He's playing at a solid level this season. But he's not playing a top 20 player in the NFL, which is what he should be playing at. I mean, the pass rush has been very good this year. But if Dexter Lawrence could be Dexter Lawrence, they would be into that elite level. But he's just not. He's not been that player when he was going against backup center Matt Hennessy. And I mean, he had wins. I believe he had a QB hit. He had a TFL. Or maybe, I think he had a pressure and a TFL. But just he's not taking over games. And we saw Dexter Lawrence in years past just take over games. And he just has not done that. Another guy I want to talk about is Abdul Carter. He's a rookie. And I know he has the pressures and whatnot and that kind of thing. But at some point, he's got to just get a sack. I mean, it's getting frustrating. He played probably his worst game of the season. In this one, just frustrating. I mean, he's a top 3 pick. You want him to come in and be this difference maker. I remember before the season, he posted oh, I'm not getting a haircut until I get a sack. And everyone was oh, I'm not going to have to wait long for that. Well, we're going into week 10 and he has half a sack. So, just super frustrating. With him, I mean, I understand he's impacting the game more than a lot of players, and he just doesn't have the counting numbers, and I know they're gonna come, but in the moment it's really frustrating, that he doesn't have that sack and whatnot. The secondary is just at a practice squad level. That's kind of what we're at. I mean, we have Corey Black, 7th round pick that didn't even make the roster. He's now starting an outside corner, and in coverage, he legitimately might be one of the worst corners I've ever seen. In the run game, he actually isn't terrible. He's a lot better than Deonte Banks. He at least funnels runs to the inside, but he is just awful in coverage. I mean, it feels like every time he gets targeted, it is a catch. Yeah, and then you have, what's his name? Bernard Converse. I think it's Javel Bernard Converse. I don't know if that's Jarek Bernard Converse, a guy that wasn't even on the roster a week ago is also rotating in at corner. So they're just so thin. Like, this was a thin position going into the year with Adebo. And now with Adebo out, and then Flott, who's taken a step up, he's out. I mean, this is just such a bad unit. And it felt like San Francisco could run the ball or throw the ball, just whatever they wanted to do. Mac Jones, 19 for 24, 235, 2 touchdowns. And then on the run side, if you eliminate their QB Neal, they were 38 for 160 and 2 touchdowns. So just 49ers could do whatever they wanted. Giants also got out-coached. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's a phenomenal coach. Shane Bowen's going to be fired. Just a matter of if, not when. Or when, not if, sorry. Yeah, it was just really frustrating. I mean, after the first drive with the offense, thought maybe, looking good, might have a shot. And then from there, it just spiraled. I think with the defense, I mean, the linebackers are like, Okereke just hasn't been very good this year. I'll talk a little more about Deonte Banks. I saw a video, and it was like rookie Deonte Banks. And, someone commented, when the banks were closed on Sundays. Well, the banks used to be closed on Sundays. Now it looks like they've been demolished and turned into 7-Elevens because wide receivers are just wide open when they're going against Deonte Banks. I mean, he's just terrible. I feel like they tried to use these last 2 weeks almost as like a film for a trade, and he just has been putting up terrible film. I mean, Christian McCaffrey just ran right through his chest at one point. Or was it Brian Robinson? I think it was Brian Robinson. I don't know. One of the 49ers running backs just ran right through Deonte Banks' chest. I mean, he's one of the softest NFL players I've ever seen. And I feel like that's a term that kind of gets thrown around a lot of times with players. Like, oh, he's soft, like whatnot. Deonte Banks is soft. He's terrible in the run game. He is awful in coverage. Such a bust of a first-round pick. Another example of a rookie that was overrated, but he has legitimately regressed. So has Tyler Newman. But yeah, that's pretty much everything about the defense. Just, they've been awful. I mean, this was a unit that, going into the year we thought could have, at the very worst, been like a league average. But no, they are bad. Worst, or no, they're not the worst. The second worst run defense of the league because the Bengals are somehow even worse. I mean, they gave up, we think 160 is bad. The Bengals gave up 283 to the team that the Giants are playing this upcoming week. So we will get into that at the end of this episode. But if we go to the offense, Jackson Dart played a good game. He had that one bad play where he, kind of to have a good internal clock. He was out in the pocket, just kind of standing there looking for someone. He got drilled by Shamar Stewart, who was behind him, didn't even see him. Got drilled, lucky he didn't fumble. But outside of that, I mean, he did not get a lot of help. Darius Slayton had a really bad drop, and then he went down with an injury. His pride was hurt. He wasn't actually hurt. Theo Johnson with a big drop on a third down. He's getting really frustrating. Like, I feel like I'm saying it every week. Like, Theo Johnson dropped. Theo Johnson dropped. It's his 5th of the year. But it feels like they're all just really frustrating drops. Like, they're just right there, and he just can't hold on. He's got all the tools to be a really good tight end, but he just cannot catch the football. Really frustrating. I feel like I keep saying the word frustrating, but that's really just kind of sums up this team. Gunnar Olszewski catching a touchdown is honestly more embarrassing than anything. I mean, this guy's a returner. How many career yards does Gunnar Olszewski have? Let's see. But, like, the fact he's even on the field, I understand there were injuries, but, like, Gunnar Olszewski's career receiving yards is 180, and he is out there catching touchdowns for the Giants. Just terrible. And then you look at the running game, and for some reason, Devin Singletary had 8 carries, and Tyrone Tracy had 5. What are the Giants getting out of that? Devin Singletary has he has no future with the team. They might cut him this offseason. There's a chance of it. If not, he's gone after next year. Tyrone Tracy, this guy could be the future. He had over 1,000 scrimmage yards as a rookie, and he didn't even start the year as the starting running back. Yet you're giving Devin Singletary more carries than him? Like, Tyrone Tracy was the starting running back at the beginning of the year, and then Scadaboo took over, and now Scadaboo's hurt. Tyrone Tracy should be getting a huge majority of those snaps. And the other thing is the Giants once again rolled with 2 running backs. That is insane to me. 2 running backs, 1 injury, and you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. And running backs are a position where they are getting hit every single play. 1 injury, and those guys, like, it's so bad. It's such roster mismanagement with this, in this Brian Dable, Joe Shane era of this team. I mean, there are free agent running backs available. Jamal Williams is a free agent. Gus Edwards is a free agent. And just elevate Terrell Miller. And if you really don't like Terrell Miller, then go sign one of those guys. There's Zach Moss, Deontay Foreman. Like, there are guys available. I don't understand the rolling with 2 running backs. Yet you're going to have a guy like Evan Neal. He was active for this game. Or, Jalen Hyatt. I understand, they're thin at receiver and whatnot. But, like, come on. Like, a 3rd running back should be a lot more valuable than the other guys that they're making active. I just don't understand. I don't understand what's the point of even having Turbo Miller if there's a point where you have 2 healthy running backs and you could use like a speed guy and he's not getting elevated. So I don't get that at all. That's about all I really have for this game. Graham Gano as well, missing a 45-yarder, and then his comments post-game. Like, there's so many guys on this roster that I'm just done with. I mean, you have Deontay Banks, you have Jalen Hyatt, Evan Neal, Graham Gano. Like, I am just done with these guys, man. And it's so... Let me find it. After the game, he goes, only miss all day, warm-ups and all, Gano told the Post. Have to hit that one, my 3rd miss in 2 years. He's using warm-ups to defend missing a kick. This guy should have been cut over the offseason. Didn't cut him. When he hurt his groin, they should have cut him then. Like, I don't understand how the kicker position is such a huge problem with this team. And then he has the audacity to say that my only miss all day. I was perfect in warm-ups because that matters a lot. When there's no one rushing you, and no pressure. Like, it's just such a embarrassing and bad football team. They're 2-7 for 3 straight years. I'm just done with this regime. I really am. I think Shane Bowen should be fired now. I would give Dable the rest of the season. If they fired Shane today, I would be honestly happy with that as well. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not the Giants want to bring in a weapon. I don't think they should. I don't think Joe Shane deserves to be in the position to give up draft capital for this team, and I don't really think anyone available is worth the price and will be that much of an impact this season. I saw Dan Duggan post something, and I agree, where a lot of times when you trade for a wide receiver in season, they don't really make the impact that you think they have. And I'd be all over the Jalen Waddle train, but the Dolphins want a 1st and more for Waddle, so I'm kind of off that train. Yeah, I think, if the Giants can get anything for Evan Neal, Jalen Hyatt, or Deontay Banks, I would do that. Outside of that, I would probably just stay pat, honestly. I don't know if Devin Singletary, I doubt he has any value. I'm trying to think anyone on the team that they could possibly trade. I mean, they don't have much. So, yeah, just overall an embarrassing game. I know, 34-24 doesn't look terrible, but they did have a garbage time touchdown to make the score look better. Yeah, just frustrating game, tough to watch. Yeah, so I will now get into the Yankees part of this podcast, where I'll be breaking down the Yankees pending pitcher free agents. All right, I'm recording this part a little bit later, but we are now going to jump into the New York Yankees pending pitcher free agents. And first, we have Devin Williams. So Devin Williams is 31 years old. His previous AAV was $7.25 million. He was 4-6 this year with a 4.79 ERA. He was 18 for 22 on saves. In 62 innings, he had 90 strikeouts and a negative .3 WAR. And his Spotrac market value is only at $5.7 million. I honestly am okay with bringing Devin Williams back on another 1-year deal. He obviously got off to a terrible start, but he did have some stretches where he wasn't bad. And honestly, by postseason time, he was one of the more trusted relievers in the bullpen, and he could at least get righties out. So obviously the numbers don't look good. He also was a bit unlucky, I will be honest. 90 strikeouts in 62 innings is very solid. So if they brought him back on even like a $10 million deal, I wouldn't necessarily hate that on a 1-year deal. But I also could see Devin wanting to, leave the Yankees and get a fresh start somewhere else. So we'll see, but I definitely am not opposed to bringing back Devin Williams, despite the numbers. And I know he was frustrating at times, but I think you could get a decent deal on him. And if he can go back to his old self, that would be an absolute steal. The next guy is Luke Weaver. He's 32 years old. His previous AAV was 2 million and 64 and 2/3 innings pitched. He was 4-4 with a 3.62 ERA and 72 strikeouts, 8 saves, a .8 WAR, and a value of $9.9 million. I don't know if they bring back Luke Weaver. Honestly, I think he's going to end up going elsewhere, and I think a team may want to move him back to being a starter. I don't know. He really struggled down the stretch. He was unusable in the postseason. And I think it might just be time to move on from Luke Weaver, similar, almost like Clay Holmes last offseason. It depends on the deal, obviously. If they give him a $9.9 million deal, I don't hate it, but I don't think I love it at the same time. The Yankees do really need bullpen arms, so I'm sure they'll at least pursue bringing him back. But, we'll see. I think there's probably better options out there than Luke Weaver. But again, I'm not opposed to it. I think I would rather bring back Devin Williams than Luke Weaver, despite, the numbers and whatnot. But, we'll see. I'm not completely against bringing him back, but he was a pretty frustrating player at times this year. I mean, Devin Williams was too, but Luke Weaver, especially down the stretch. Next one we're going to talk about is Tim Hill. 35 years old. Previous AAV was 2.85 million. He pitched 70 games this year. It's 67 innings pitched, 4-4 record, 3.09 ERA, only 37 strikeouts. But again, you guys know his pitching style. He doesn't really strike guys out. 1.1 WAR. His value is 4.3 million. And the Yankees do have a $3 million club option on him. I think this is a no-brainer. I think you have to pick that up. He's really the only lefty reliever in the bullpen right now. And he was really solid last year. And again, he pitched 70 games. He was super dependable. He's got that funky delivery. I think for $3 million, why would you not do that for a team that really, really needs bullpen? So I think this is a no-brainer. I think you absolutely pick up that option on Tim Hill. Got 3 more. These guys aren't as important. Obviously, those top 3 are the most important. But the next guy is Paul Blackburn, a guy the Yankees picked up mid-year. He's 31 years old. His AAV was $6 million, but the Yankees didn't have to pay all of that. 15 games, he had 4 starts. He was 0-3 with a 6.23 ERA, 39 innings pitched, 34 strikeouts, negative .5 WAR. He had a 5.28 ERA with the Yankees and 15 1/3 innings pitched. He didn't even have a market value on the website. Depends on the deal. If they give him a $1 million deal, I'm fine with that. But I don't want to giving him a 1-year, $5 million deal. I think that money could be better spent elsewhere than a guy like Blackburn. There's a guy later on this list I would rather bring back than a Paul Blackburn. So I think he was a guy that kind of just claimed to eat innings late in the year. And, he didn't show anything to the Yankees that tells me I have to bring him back. So I think he's a guy they probably just let go. He maybe even gets a minor league deal. I don't really know what Paul Blackburn's market is going to be, but yeah, not totally sure. The next guy is Jonathan Loizaga. He's 31 years old. His previous AAV was 5 million, 30 games pitched, 29.2 innings pitched, 4.25 ERA, 25 strikeouts, 1 save, and a .2 WAR, a Spotrac value of 4.6 million. He has a $5 million club option. I would probably decline that. I don't think he's worth 5 million. He's had a lot of injury issues. He wasn't great last year when he did throw. He gave up a lot of home runs. Maybe a $4 million deal might be a little bit better. I know that's kind of like, it's $1 million. Like in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem like a ton. But I don't know. I just think looking at the numbers, looking at past years, I don't see Jonathan Loaisiga as a guy that's worth 5 million. Now, if they pick that up, am I like gonna be pissed? No. But I just don't think he's worth 5 million. The value has him at 4.6. So it's tough. Again, this is a really bullpen needy team, and I mean, if you can get like any arm for 5 million, I mean that's not like terrible, but like I don't know. These last couple guys are tough because I don't really know what the market is gonna be. Like, is there a team that would give Loaisiga 5 million? Maybe, and he's also coming off another injury. Like, I would probably decline it, and worst case scenario, you could bring him back on a similar deal. And the last guy is Ryan Yarbrough, another guy the Yankees picked up. He's 33 years old. Previous AAV was 2 million. Through 64 innings at a 4.36 ERA. 19 games, 8 starts, 1 save, and a .6 WAR. His value is 2.2 million. I would bring him back for that price. Again, this is the guy I was saying I'd rather bring back than Blackburn. I'm trying to look and see. Looks like all his games did come with the Yankees this year. I thought he came from somewhere else. Maybe they claimed him. But yeah, he was pretty solid. I mean, he had a good stretch. He did get hurt, so that hurt him, no pun intended, but yeah, I think for 2 million, why not? I mean, good long reliever, another lefty. We don't know about like Garrett Cole for the start of the season. Rodon apparently might not be ready for the start of the year. So having a guy like Yarbrough, I'm like, he's an upgrade over like a Cookie Carrasco that they had going into the year last year. So I think bringing him back for 2 million isn't a bad idea. Again, we'll see what the market looks like. But I think like 1 year, 2.5 million, I think that's totally fair for Yarbrough. So none of these guys, like unlike Cody Bellinger, I'm like, you have to bring back Bellinger. None of these guys, I'm like pounding the table, like you have to bring him back. But I think Tim Hill's a guy I would pound the table for, being like, we got to bring him back for the 3 million price tag. If it was more, I'd reconsider. But I think that's really good value. If I had to rank the other guys, I would say I want Devin Williams back at number 1, probably Weaver at 2, and then Yarbrough, Loaisiga, Blackburn. I'd say that's probably my like kind of rankings of who I want back. Yeah, I think that's all the Yankee talk. If you guys have any ideas for anything else you guys want me to talk about for the Yankees, let me know. I'm gonna probably do some free agency targets for hitters coming up. I don't know if that'll be next week or the following week. I'll definitely be posting them on social media what I'm gonna do, so make sure you guys follow me on my socials. Transitioning now to the studs and duds section. This is kind of tough, honestly, to find a stud. I will give an honorable mention to Jackson Dart. I was really considering Jackson Dart, but the offense only had like 17 points, and then they got like a garbage time touchdown, and it made the stats look a little bit better. He did play a really good game, 24 for 33, 191, 2 touchdowns, and then he also added 8 for 56 and a touchdown on the ground. Jackson Dart's completely exceeding expectations. He's playing great football on a team that does not have a lot of weapons right now at all. So, shout out to him. I just didn't think he quite deserved a stud. So my only stud is going to be, once again, Brian Burns. I feel like this guy's getting a stud every single week. But he picked up another sack this week. He's really just been a complete superstar. I feel like I'm like a broken record saying this every week. He now has the solo lead for sacks in the NFL at 11. He's a sack and a half away from tying his career high with 12 and a half in 2022. he's been worth everything the Giants have given him so far, and hopefully he can keep it up. And we're about halfway through the year, and he's already almost to his career high. So shout out Brian Burns. Hopefully he can keep doing what he's doing with this pass rush. Hopefully some other guys can, step up a little bit. For the duds, I have 3. The first guy is Dexter Lawrence. I never really anticipated giving this guy a dud. And I know he wasn't terrible. He had a TFL, he had a pressure, but he's got to play better. He has to. He's going against backup centers one-on-one, and he should be dominating that matchup, and he's not. For any other player, this wouldn't deserve a dud, in my opinion, but he's just got to be better. He's got to play like that top 20 player that he is, and I know he is that, but he's got to get up to that level. And no more with the elbow injury, that he's fine. The cardio or whatever, I had someone making an excuse that, he had a baby born at the beginning of the year, and it's keeping him up at night. Like, stop with that. Just stop. This is his job. He needs to play better. He needs to be that top 20 player that he was in the past years. It's a fresh start going to the second half of the year. He needs to, maybe put in some extra time in practice. He's got to do whatever he's got to do. But at the end of the day, I want to see Dexter Lawrence dominate a game at some point this year. That needs to happen, and he needs to step it up. And this defense has been terrible. I mean, there's no way around it. This defense has been completely terrible. And is he the problem? I wouldn't say he's the complete problem, but I'd say he at least has a part in it because he's taken a step down this year from past years. So Dexter Lawrence, you're my first dud. The second dud is Shane Bowen. This guy's just completely awful. I don't know why he's still the defensive coordinator. I don't know why he has had play calling duties revoked. He's completely awful. He doesn't give the Giants an advantage at all with his play calling. I know they're banged up, but he's bad. He's a bad defensive coordinator. He was the Giants' fourth option when they hired him. He doesn't do anything exciting. He had one outlier game against Philly. He's just a bad coordinator, and he should be fired. I know I saw someone say, what's the difference Andre Patterson or Marquand Manuel are going to make calling plays? They got to change up something. They're 2-7 for 3 years in a row. They're not going to fire Dable right now. They're not going to do that with Dart and whatnot. I think they'll give him at least the year, but they got to make some sort of move, and I think you fire the guy that runs the defense that is giving up 30-plus points, 3-plus weeks, and the guy that let Mac Jones just dice him up, the guy that let the 30th ranked run defense run for 160. I think you fire that guy. So I don't want to get too much into it, but Shane Bowen, you are a complete dud. And the last guy is probably mine. Before the year it was Evan Neal or Jalen Hyatt. I would say this guy surpassed him, and that's Deonte Banks. He's so soft. He has no heart. Keep in mind, this is a guy Joe Shane traded up for in the draft in the first round. He's terrible. I don't even think the Giants are going to get a pick swap for him at this point. If the Giants trade away Banks in a 7th for a 6th, I will be so happy with that. I will be ecstatic at that. At this point, I wouldn't be mad if they just cut him. I don't even care how thin they are at corner. I wouldn't be mad if they just cut him. Make some sort of a statement. He has no effort. He has no heart. He's a terrible football player. Complete bust. No ball skills. His coverage has gotten worse. I don't really know what else to say. But Deonte Banks, you are the final dud. I could have given more guys duds, but I'm just going to leave it at that. All around, the whole team should get a dud, honestly. But we are now shifting into the This Week in History part of the podcast. On November 1st, 1925, so a little over a century ago, the Giants defeated the Cleveland Bulldogs 19-0 at home. A shutout win from the early days of the franchise, reflecting a dominant defensive performance nearly 100 years ago. So that was pretty cool. Cleveland Bulldogs, didn't even know that was a team, but I thought that was a pretty cool fact in history. So now looking forward, the Giants will be traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. The Bears are currently 3.5-point favorites, which I think that is like a steal. I would be running to the sports books to bet Bears minus 3.5. The Bears have had a great rushing game since their Week 5 bye. They're averaging 186.5 yards per game since their bye. And last week, they ran for 283 on Cincinnati. And I think they're going to run all over the Giants. The soft team, I think they should just run all. I would give Caleb Williams 20 pass attempts this game. That's it. I would just run the ball down the Giants' throat, even if it's just 3, 4, 5 yards. If I was the Bears, I would just do that. If I'm the Giants, you gotta change something up. You have to change something up. What they're doing right now is not working. I don't know what that is. That's above my pay grade. Maybe you gotta stack more guys in the box. I know that, and then I know that hurts the secondary, but hopefully Cordell Flott can come back, or Javon Holland should at least be back this week. You can't let these teams just run all over you. You can't do it. Make them beat you in the air at this point. I know they probably can, but I'm sick and tired of teams. It's been the past half decade. Teams have just run down the Giants' throats, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. DeAndre Swift didn't even play last week, and they ran for 283. So I don't know what they're gonna do this week. Yeah, I'm worried about this matchup with the Bears' run game. For the Giants' offense, they need Darius Slayton to step up. Darius Slayton needs to have a big game. Had that drop. I want a game with no drops, and I want like 70 yards from Darius Slayton. That would be huge. Theo Johnson while on the football. I need Tyrone Tracy to get more carries than Devin Singletary. And hopefully everyone else can stay healthy. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Again, kind of tough to preview games on a Monday, but that's kind of what I got for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching / listening to this episode. If you did, like, follow, subscribe wherever you're listening. Make sure you guys follow me on my socials. I'm planning to make a TikTok this week for the first time in a while, but also Instagram and X. Follow me on all my other platforms. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. Let's go Giants and let's go Yankees.